Well, right now, an international summit underway in Dubai could radically change how you use the internet. At issue is a push by the United Nations to put the web under their control. Ami Horowitz is co-director of UN Me, a film on the UN, admittedly critical at times of the UN, and Morgan Wright, a cyber terrorism expert. Welcome to you both. Morgan,
Hi, Jenna.
Where does this come from? Do we need more oversight of the internet?
Not by the UN. I mean, this is like putting Tony Soprano in charge of gambling in Jersey. This is what they're doing is they're laying the foundations. If you can tax it and regulate it, you can control it. And if you can control it, you can suppress it. And the last thing we need is for anybody from the UN. I mean, they don't understand the paradigm of the internet. They're still concerned with regulating international telephone calls. That's why it's the ITU, the International Telecommunications Union, that's managing this. What they need to do is keep their hands and mitts out of the internet. This was built by engineers and business people, and in fact, the first successful transaction was done a little over 20 years ago by Tim Berners-Lee using computers built by Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs would roll over in his grave if he saw people trying to control the internet.
You know, I mean, in your work and looking at the UN, how do you think this fits in with the pattern, though, that you observed in how the UN tries to oversee or gain more power as an organization?
I mean, it fits in perfectly with what the UN is always trying to do and what they're about. This is essentially a power grab by them. They want to insinuate themselves into one of the most successful products and creations we've ever had and hand it over to one of the most unsuccessful organizations we've ever had. And they're trying to use it as a power grab. They're going to try to tax successful U.S. companies and kind of use that as a redistribution of wealth to start giving that money to third world countries.
Well, Morgan, it does seem, though, at times that the internet is a little bit of a Wild West, if you will. Now, the United States government has come out against this. Many companies have come out against this as well. But in your expertise, Morgan, is there opportunity or is there a place where the internet should have more oversight or regulation because of some of the threats that are out there today?
Hey, take a look at the combined market cap for companies like Cisco, Facebook, Google, Microsoft. They got there because there weren't these regulations on the internet. They built these things out. There needs to be more focus, though, on the area of cybercrime, cyber terrorism. How do you prevent these types of things, especially the use of organized crime, human trafficking, a lot of these issues? Their focus should be on how to create the policies and the legislation and the cooperation needed that should not be about regulating the internet. It needs to stay free and open. They need to keep their mitts out of it and continue to let people in the Internet Engineering Task Force and the other people who have helped build this to where it is, let them continue to do their work.
Ami, quick thought from you. If we see some of these crimes, cyber crimes, human trafficking that are coming up on the web, that are crossing different countries' borders, who would be best to oversee it if it's not the United Nations?
I mean, the idea of the internet itself is openness. It's what has made the internet so successful. The reality is cybercrimes are illegal across the world through different countries, through treaties and so forth. The last thing, and the UN as well, the last thing you want is the UN to use that as an excuse to start regulating the internet. I mean, really, you know, the overriding principle when it comes to this stuff, the UN sucks. And
tell us how you really feel, Ami, about this.
I don't pull any punches. So we don't want them involved. And again, and by the way, why are these negotiations and proposals all secret? What we know was leaked out, and what we do know is frightening. What they're trying to accomplish.
You know, it's interesting. It's such an interesting topic because we're talking about the internet. We're talking as well many of our stories about problems that cross borders in countries where the borders do not seem quite as strong as before. So it's a really interesting topic. We look forward to having you both back to talk more about it. Morgan, Ami, thank you so much.
Thank you.
You bet,
we'll be
Jenna.
right back.
See you.